Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for this Giving Tuesday. It is a chance to celebrate all of you wonderful donors, donor activists, and the entire stakeholder community. We have a wonderful video to share with you that was co-created with our civic influencers. It's called The Day in the Life of Civic Influencers. And I hope you enjoy it.
Organization does real work. It's devoted to voter education and engaging young people to be engaged in their democracy. Personally, whenever I joined Civic Influencers, I really did not know what I was really getting into. And I am so blessed to be a part of this organization because it has taught me so much about this work and how important it is. And I am so invested in this cause. Organization is really a catalyst for change. It's devoted to civic engagement and being able to know how to do a tabling event on my own, knowing how to register people to vote on my own, hosting events like large scale events and being a part of the planning of that because I first took the leap of joining this organization. You want an organization that's teaching you about how to get involved civically, this is the organization. If you guys want to know an organization that's devoted to helping students learn about character development and learning how to be a strong leader, this is the organization. You want an organization that's teaching you about how to get involved civically, this is the organization. And this is the organization that has multiple leaders that's nationwide to curate this same change.
My name is Anna Cubbage. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the organizer at large for North Carolina here at Civic Influencers. Today, I am honored to be joined by two of our amazing North Carolina civic influencers, Jada Kelly and Abby Floor. Abby, she, her, is a senior at the University of North Carolina, Asheville, and has been a civic influencer since spring 2021. Jada, she, her, is a junior student at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University and has been a civic influencer since the summer of 2022. Why did y'all initially apply to the Civic Influencers program?
I applied because I saw my friends getting involved with civic engagement and I wanted to get involved too with the program. I didn't really understand how much the system involved voting and how much voter suppression is kind of contributed to society. So I just wanted to be a part of the change.
I was really affected as a freshman by the 2020 election, and my passion really started when I saw just the immense amount of younger voter turnout, and I really wanted to carry that momentum into almost every election that we have, especially do what I can for my campus community.
Why have y'all continued to work with us over multiple terms?
I've stuck with civic influencers throughout, the past few years because of how much it's changed in great ways. It's really changed with how things change in society and how things change on our campus. It's been really nice to kind of have the flexibility of fitting in my schoolwork as well as my civic influencer work. And there's also a lot of overlap between what I'm learning in my political science classes as well as what I'm learning through our trainings and our meetings. It also helps me make really great connections and coalitions on campus. I really like doing things that make me more proactive and getting out. And this has really done that.
What are some challenges that y'all are still facing to overcome?
Some challenges I face would be educating students about voting, governmental structures in general. Most students and most people don't understand how much of an influence local elections over bigger scale presidential elections have on their everyday lives. And then I also would say another challenge is because I go to HBCU, a lot of African American students, they really don't understand the importance of voting because they feel their vote doesn't matter because of the oppression system that we have in the United States where mostly minorities kind of aren't vocalizing their opinions. They don't get to really feel like their opinions are represented in society.
How does intersectionality show up in your civic and voter engagement work?
Intersectionality shows up because for me, voting system tends to be based around suppressing votes, especially in minority communities.
A lot of the new voter laws have impacted a lot of communities, especially the class scale and how a lot of people aren't able to have access to getting an ID to even vote. And we've created a lot of systems that are now disenfranchising those voters and making it even harder for them to get to the polls.
With new voting laws kind of getting stringent on voter IDs and regulate laws about eating and drinking in lines, mail-in ballot regulations, polling sites closing earlier than normal, all these tactics are kind of designed to oppress voters and not get them to turn out to the polls. We're just trying to figure out a way how to stop these tactics and kind of emphasize the importance of voting to our students so that they can understand that the system might have been designed to oppress and deter people from voting, but that's why your voice matters, and showing up to those polls is very important so that we don't have these issues anymore.
How have y'all engaged your civic power through the Civic Influencers program and helped others to engage their civic power too?
Through the Civic Influencers program, I create content on my Instagram page sometimes and on my TikTok, like Reels or TikToks mostly, just like to emphasize voter education and voter registration. So these kind of like TikToks or Reels, they kind of are short little clips in a life. If I'm going to like a voter event or something like that, or if I'm actively canvassing, just to kind of engage people to see what I'm doing and get them to kind of be a part of the change. I go and work with the OLSE office, and they allow us to have events that can bring students out to the polls. We had an event that was called Vote Coming, and that was a large scale event. You know, we have GHO, which is the greatest homecoming on earth. It is our biggest event, but we had a Vote Coming event where we were allowed to have a bouncy house, and we had shuttles going to the polls, we had shirts, we had food. So it really engages students to kind of come out to the polls, and it kind of allows them to be wanting to be a part of the change because they see, oh, you guys are having great events and you guys are really getting people out to vote, so let me be a part of that work. So by doing content, tabling, and postcarding parties and whatnot, all these different outlets all work to engage my community and allow me to build connections with the people so that they know that people care about this stuff, and this also allows them to get excited about it and want to be a part of it.
But how have y'all engaged your campuses and your local communities through your work?
So I'm an RA, and a lot of times to like engage my residents, I'll just sit and like have registration papers available to be just like an easy way, like, hey, if you just want to register, or having a QR code, like scan this, and maybe if you want to register later, like re-register. We've also had a lot of candidates come in, and we do like candidate talks where students can really have the opportunity to, not quite one-on-one, but you can still have a Q&A session where students might normally not find that. So making sure that students get to know who's actually running for office. We do a National Voter Registration Day. It's like a huge event all over campus. We have a bunch of tabling spots, and that's always just been like one of my favorite days on campus. Even if you're not registering to vote, you're still free to eat and chat with us. It's a great way for people to just start like an open dialogue. So yeah, just like really great ways to like engage with your community and also your campus.
What would y'all want folks to know about Gen Z voters and Gen Z civic leaders?
I think people need to understand that Gen Z cares about different things than older generations do, and we have to kind of target things that they care about because their voices do matter.
I think it's really easy to see the disconnect between generations. Just talking with my parents, being Gen X, when I say like, you know, I'm incredibly concerned about housing, I'm concerned about my student debt, these things are not as relevant to them. So I think engaging younger voters and asking them what their real concerns are, we're seeing some of that, but I think that there's a large concern about who's in office and who's being elected currently. And I think Gen Z is starting to recognize that.
We also need to go and target them in a different way than we would older generation, utilizing social media. That's kind of how we can engage them into being a part of our democracy and understanding civic engagement, because we have to kind of meet them where they're at.
Thank you. I am thrilled, and I hope you're thrilled by hearing directly from our civic influencers how they are changing lives, how they're changing hearts and minds of their peers on campuses and around the country. Our work is all co-created. This is the creation, the creator generation. And we're co-creating everything we do. We're learning through reverse mentoring and regular mentoring how to reach young people and how to keep them engaged and wanting to be part of our political and civic life. Thank you all for investing in us. This is a movement for democracy that will take all generations, but particularly this one. And without your support, we could never have come as far as we have. So thank you, and thank you again for all that you have done. And now I'd like to actually introduce you to Paul, who has been leading our stakeholder engagement efforts. Paul.
Thanks, Maxim. I hope you all loved that video. Every time I watch it, I feel so inspired by the civic influencers in that video. I love it so much. So I hope you all felt the same way. Happy Giving Tuesday. And, thank you for spending a few minutes with us, this morning. I wanted to just take a moment to let you know and to ask you for your help. There is one thing you can do to really make a difference. Besides your donation, please help us reach more pro-democracy allies like you. And you can do that by sharing this text message. We wrote it for you, and I'm going to ask you to please send the text message that we are dropping in the Zoom chat. And I'm also going to send it to you right after the webinar. And I'm asking you to please send it to 5 people today who also care about saving democracy. $18 is all it can take to make a difference. These days, $18, at least where I live, that's a latte and a breakfast sandwich. And I think we can all agree that that amount is worth saving democracy. Of course, if you can afford to give more, please do. And every gift today is being matched. That's right. It's going to be matched by a generous donor. So your gift is going to go twice as far. So please, please, please send this text message. Again, we're dropping it in the webinar chat. We're going to send it to you in an email. It's so easy. You just copy and paste it on your phone, text it to your friends and family who care about saving democracy, and let them know too that their gift is going to go twice as far. So please send that out to 5 of your friends and family right now. It's going to make all the difference for us today. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Paul. It is amazing. You're going to hear now from our board chair, Liz Ritchie, about how we are positioning ourselves for really amazing impact and success, but which we can only do with your help. Liz Ritchie.
Thank you, Maxim. And thank you all so much for being here and for your support. I know a lot of us are getting many requests this Giving Tuesday, and there's so many worthy causes, but honestly, Civic Influencers has one of the most efficient ways that your money can be used to reach hundreds of thousands of young people, bring them into democracy, and to give them their voice. In the spirit of this Thanksgiving season, I'm thankful for our founder, Paul Loeb, because he recognized before almost anyone the urgency of engaging young people to help save our democracy. It's what attracted me to this organization over 10 years ago. And the need has never been greater. And that's why I'm even more thankful for our current leader, Maxim Thorne. Maxim did what Paul always wanted to do. We became a year-round force for youth civic engagement. He knew just dropping in at election time was not enough. And he also had the foresight to realize that data could make our work even more effective. And that's why our dollars are even more efficient now. Thank you all truly for your support. Help us spread the word and help us build this movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. I am so happy to share with you this amazing list of donors to date for this year. You've seen the remarkable victories that young people achieved in Ohio in voting on issue 1 and 2. You've seen the remarkable victory with the Supreme Court elections in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. You've seen what they did to flip a chamber in Virginia. They are coming out on the issues they care about. And so we're helping young people across the country of whatever political affiliation or desires they have, understand that their vote matters and that they should be engaging in a conversation with each generation and each other about the direction of our future. With your help, we are able to do all of that. And we hope you continue. Next year will be an election like none other. The choices are very stark. And young people are being subjected to disinformation, which is deliberate, and misinformation, which is just incorrect but inadvertent. but both have a negative impact on young people, helping us to co-create the kind of world we want to live in. Please donate today, Giving Tuesday. It will be doubled, and it will help us launch what we hope will be the biggest effort to turn out young people across the country from now and through Election Day of 2024. Have a wonderful holiday season, and thank you again.